She's so non-assuming for being such a potent plant.
She's a beauty, though.
Yeah.
Look at those long legs. And, fine ashwagandha.
Plump little red berries.
This transmission is coming to you from deep in the jungles of central Maine. You are about to get high on spirit.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Ko. This is Dylan, and this here is Walter.
We're not here to advise or give any kind of medical advice, but
Yeah, we're about to talk about ashwagandha. But at the end of this video, we're going to do a guided meditation, so stick around. It's going to be an enlightening experience. See you there.
so ashwagandha. What's the plant name mean?
It means smells like sweaty horse.
I guess I kind of got that. A little carroty. Oh yeah, no, definitely. I get what you're saying. Almost like a smelly dog and a smelly horse have been hanging out,
Yeah.
rolling around in the mud.
I didn't get the horse smell real strong, but it's in there when you look. Yeah, because she gives the energy of strong workhorse.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful and majestic.
Graceful,
Graceful.
mighty,
Enduring.
steadfast.
Steadfast.
Yeah, they say it's been measured that hearts of horses project an electromagnetic field. I think it's 3 times larger than humans.
Whoa.
So just being in the presence of horses can, bring us into a state of coherence very, very easily and naturally. And I think anyone who works around horses knows that intuitively,
Yeah.
but there's the science behind it. Yeah.
Yeah, it helps a lot with autistic.
Mm-hmm.
Reprogramming, just having people be around horses have gained all sorts of neurofunction that they didn't have before. Part of that story is in this root too, and in the leaves, and berries.
Yeah, and we've been talking about many of the different potential benefits in the different constituents within the plant, as far as leaves versus roots and things like that. And there's been a lot of cool information.
It's amazing, yeah. There hasn't been too many studies done, but the ones that have been done have just been alarming. And its ability to shrink tumors, make them disappear in 20 days in mice.
And that was with the leaf, right?
That was a leaf extract, surprisingly enough, because the leaf doesn't really get much attention, isn't used much.
This transmission is coming to you from deep in the jungles of central Maine. You are about to get high on spirit.
Pretty much all throughout, though. What is one of the main ones? Is that withylene or withanine? What is it?
Yeah, there's a bunch of they call them steroidal lactones that are withylene, withylmine. And that was why I threw the coconut in with your tea, because in India they talked about cooking it with ghee, similar to how you would with kava is a lactone. Helps the solubility act. But most of the research that's done is just on Aquarius, on water-based extracts.
Interesting. Yeah, so we were wandering around yesterday, and we happened upon some wild ashwagandha and dug some up. We made some tea. We obviously have had some experience with it in the past individually. I remember taking it years ago for a cocktail of supplements to, increase testosterone, because that was one of the things that it's known to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there are many, many benefits, and we're going to get into a lot of them. We're actually going to go out into the field here in a moment and find some, dig some up.
Yeah, got a little sample here.
And if you guys stick around with us, one of the reasons why we've been focusing a lot on the roots in this season has been part of that drawing up the earth energy and the grounding force and connecting with the earth and really becoming rooted ourselves. And 'tis the season, right? This is the late harvest season. This is the time for roots to really be at their potency.
Yeah.
And so we're also going to incorporate a practice that will have a tremendous grounding benefit. So if you guys stick around to the end of this video, we're going to do that practice with you guys, and it's definitely life-changing. Very, very supportive of a good diet, good healthy emotions and thoughts, and balance and harmony within the system. So yeah, I'm super excited, man. But let's talk a little bit about, more about it before we run out and see what we can find.
See what we can find?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about the testosterone thing. I saw a study that they did on young athletes. And just over a month, they saw it was very considerable growth in muscle size, endurance. There was one study that was being done on vaginal strength and elasticity.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it seems to have alternate effects for men and women that are beneficial.
That's
Well, they both kind of having to do with sexuality as well, it seems, in that one respect. I mean, there's been many effects that have been talked about that are beneficial. A lot of different ways that they've used it to treat things and to just support healthy, immune function and strength and things like that, development. But yeah, elasticity and strength go hand in hand, right? So if we're seeing strength in men being increased, and we're also seeing testosterone being increased in men, what about What about increasing testosterone and/or estrogen in women? Did you find anything?
Oh, for sure. It definitely increases
related.
testosterone in women, for sure. It's the whole balancing mechanism in terms of how we relate to the world, and its reducing of stress is where she gets a lot of attention, where somehow she seems to be able to communicate with the human biology. So instead of choosing the response of cortisol, instead of choosing the response of stress and not knowing how to react, she seems to build this deep well of energy, and then the choice can be made to go into an action creation of testosterone and function.
So there was some studies that have been talking about this ability to go into either one, as you were saying, like either to morph into cortisol, right, or into testosterone. Cortisol being the stress hormone, testosterone, giving us motivation, impact, strength, drive, and things like that.
Yeah, there are studies on its reduction of cortisol. And
so that would be a good thing. So the reason I'm asking, too, is because some women might be concerned about taking this, say, well, I don't necessarily want to boost my testosterone. Why would I want to do that? There might be a lot of concern or fear. What would we say to those women?
Well, testosterone is necessary in females as well.
Well, sure, it's necessary to have that balance.
You want a balance. And
it's very powerful to have, just as estrogen is necessary and very powerful for men.
Yeah, and it's not like you're taking a testosterone supplement. The increase was slight, but it was noticeable in the data. When it didn't keep raising upon taking more of it. It rose it up to a healthy level.
Well, I know from working with Wim that he talks about the power of testosterone when it's clean, healthy, and not being driven by this sort of fear response. Sometimes testosterone can be demonized because there's so much, negativity around, really, awareness, you could say, even around the toxic masculinity and things like that. And so sometimes it gets confused with rage and responses like that, intense emotional reactions and destructive behaviors. It gets linked with those in people's minds, but I think that's giving it a bad rap.
Yeah, that almost might be a lack of testosterone, potentially.
An imbalance.
An imbalance, yeah. I mean, it's hard to point the finger.
I mean, we're talking about grounding. We're talking about rooting. So testosterone, grounding, and rooting.
She's a nightshade, like tobacco and Brugmansia, or peppers, tomatoes, potatoes. But her action seems to be much more of the nurturing kind. She's like the sweet sister of the nightshade.
Now, people who have digestive issues, let's say, in eating nightshades, should they be careful when making teas and things like that, or is that pretty much going to be? They'll have to experiment.
Yeah.
But let's, without further ado, what do you say we go out there and actually get some of this stuff? Huh?
Yeah.
Let's go dig some up.
Nice.
Wild hemp.
Wild hemp. You got a pitchfork here, got a shovel. So, yeah, the leaves are, they look just like a baby tobacco leaf.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, and she is like a nightshade.
Yeah, that's a
She's like,
what other nightshade roots are commonly edible?
well, the potato.
Yeah. Yeah.
Potato would be the most common one.
I guess so. A lot of those tubers are nightshades as well. What about like the yucca?
Not a nightshade, no. Most of the nightshades are really potent in terms of tropines and
Ones that usually come to mind are like eggplant and tomato.
oh, look, we got the berries here.
They look like tobacco pods too.
Yeah.
Is what I was noticing.
Yeah, the leaves and the berries are medicinal too. They use these for making cheese.
Ah. Yeah. Okay, that's just a single berry.
Yeah. Kind of tasteless. A lot of seeds there though, huh? It does taste like tobacco almost. It has that sort of, not so bitter, but it's in there. Yeah, you don't hear much use, many people talking about using the leaves of the ashwagandha, but they have been doing some studies on it.
Is that right?
Yeah. That picture of the mouse tumors disappearing, that was a leaf extract.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Earthy, robust.
We waited till the foliage died back and the energy is coming downward into the roots. So we're getting more medicine by waiting for the energy to make its downward ascension into the roots and we get the most potency.
For the later harvest, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, really curious about smoking some of these leaves. I read one study from India where they were using it for toothaches. They said that the smoking of the leaves for toothaches. Yeah, potentially an interesting tobacco alternative or smoking mixture, you know, for a little bit, just to, sure, it has a lot less nicotine than tobacco, but it also has a lot of neurotropic alkaloids in there, so it could be an interesting one to help wean off from tobacco for people that wanted to use less but wanted the benefits that you could get on your memory and your cognition, and fighting off Alzheimer's and Parkinson's that you get from the nicotine and the alkaloids that are in the nightshades. Yeah, the fanning potentials. No matter your training, there's so much medicine in the fanning action, whether it's a plant or whether you pick up a piece of cardboard. Just the intention of moving the air. All the spirit in the air gets moved by the intention and the action. That's, you know, what's held in the spirits of the air. Lots of form.
This is just generating a lot of chi too.
Yeah.
Just this motion alone can generate a lot of chi. I think it's, you know, that a lot of energy is traveling up and being released to the top just through the centrifugal force of the motion. You know, so we're amplifying it, and because of the way the wrist has to activate to make a fluid movement, it's not quite straight back and forth. It's a very, very subtle spiral.
Really awesome natural ground cover, the chickweed that's come in the understory there. You know, I should probably pick some of these roots. Most people are all after the flowers of this wild hemp, but the roots, very active on the liver, and they balance the properties of the aerial parts of the plant. By letting the plant have all the energy, leaving the flowers there, letting it die back, and sends its energy back down into the roots, and you get a really potent cannabis root. He's just shown a very amazing results in healing really chronic liver issues. They say when you turn all yellow, you need to eat an ounce of cannabis root every day, and it'll repair your liver right back to new. No.
It's going to be quite a bit to eat.
Yeah, grab some off one of the ones that had a bunch of flowers on it. So we get the. See, there's all kinds of calamus root growing around it though too. Leave that stuff. Don't disturb that.
Which one's the calamus?
The little green one there, right next to the shovel. This one.
I see this one, right?
That one. Yeah, those one. No, that's.
This one?
Yeah. I think this will. We can just kind of. You want to come out? So soft. We don't even need to dig. This is what we're looking for down in here. Contrary to popular consumer opinion. Getting rooted.
Getting up top, you get zooted. Down bottom, you get rooted.
I'm thinking we take these over and wash them off in the pond over there. Kind of shake the roots in there anyway. Bring them inside and wash them. close. Food grade hose, mind you. That's a beautiful one there. Oh, final wash up inside. Almost looks like a mandrake root. The human there. Well, that was good. I mean, I feel strength just out of the activity of digging some, really.
Yeah, I mean, getting out in nature, this is a gorgeous day.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. I mean, unseasonably warm and sunny. We're not going to get too many more of these, so we got to enjoy them while they're here.
Yeah.
And one way to enjoy them is, getting out and getting connected with the earth and with nature.
Yeah.
This is delicious tea. It really is. It's like earthy and warming, not like bitter.
No,
You know?
sweet.
Yeah. Been drinking a lot of that birch polypore tea, and that has a strong bitterness to it,
Yeah.
which I like, but it's like, it's a different kind of,
Yeah.
You either chug it down or kind of take little sips. This you can really enjoy.
Yeah, mix some of this with some stevia, some chocolate. Yeah, pretty nice little drink.
Well, I'm excited for this season. We're going to be doing more of these type of interactive videos where we're going to be incorporating not only the information and knowledge, but with some practical applications so that we can really bring it to life. So the practice we did on this video, I suggest that you guys do this regularly, daily. These are fundamental practices, and when we get the basics down, we can start to build on them. It takes a discipline,
You can do it whenever you think about it, even just for a few steps.
Yeah, or while driving, or it's very centering throughout the day with work and things like that. Yeah, so if you break it up, you don't have to do 1,000 in a single setting. But even doing 5 or 10, 9 or 18 or 36. So what do we got coming up?
Oh, maybe we'll get some marshmallow. That'd be a good one. Maybe some sassafras.
We'll have to look at the benefits of eating snow, because there's going to be a lot of that soon. So yeah, in a word, ashwagandha. It's serious, serious stuff. You should get some and take some. You shouldn't maybe listen to anything we suggest, but let's do a disclaimer real quick. We're not here to advise or give any kind of medical advice, but I think people should experiment with it. I think it seems to be it's showing a lot of potential.
Yeah, it's got a lot of attention as a neurotropic. In either fending off or as a preventative or curing Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, age degenerating diseases relating to the mind.
Interesting. Yeah. So, not sure what the difference between neurotropic and nootropic is, or if there is one.
I think it's just how it's said, basically.
Same thing.
One of them is probably not an accurate
Well, no,
word.
okay. Or sometimes it's pronounced nootropics.
Yeah.
Nootropics, the NOO tropic.
Yeah.
I was doing research way back in the day in my teens on some of that stuff. I got a book called Smart Drugs and Nutrients, and it was like groundbreaking in this area. Talked about, everything from like ginseng to the natural ones, and all the way to like, what's the one that is used for narcolepsy? You can't get it in the States except for narcolepsy. But maybe we shouldn't be talking about this. Nonetheless, it covered all these different smart drugs and nutrients and things and ways that enhancing our brain capacity.
Yeah.
And you know, neurogenesis is one of the things that they were really looking for, you know, growing of new brain cells as well as expansion in certain areas, increased memory, increased logic capacities, things like that, growth in certain areas and regions, you know, more creative capacity. And I wonder if this doesn't activate on certain regions of the brain, hemispheres of the brain really, more than others. So I've been looking into my own experience quite a bit at certain things enhancing the creative side versus the more logic, thought-based side, and also kind of incorporating that into some of my creative work with guided meditations to be, you know, changing the way that the words go into different ears at different times and things. So kind of playing with that to activate those different regions in the brain. Because, you know, when we're in trance, when we're meditating, we want to be really out of left brain. And if we're in an active meditation of any kind, you know, it's the right hemisphere should be more active, dynamic, because that's the creative, more imaginative side, detached, you know, surrendered, open, versus the more narrow, constricted, you know, sussing about, trying to figure out, extract things, pull them apart, examine them, more left brain focused. Both necessary, sure, but in our culture and in my experience for sure, I tend to be leaning more so on the left brain analytical side for most of my life. And so meditation was one of the ways I began to bring balance. And so I'm just curious about the way that these different herbs and supplements and plant medicines will interact with the different parts.
Yeah, there's choline in there. The only other place that I see that showing up in the plant world is nettles.
Oh, yeah. Remember that from our nettles episode.
Yeah, and there's some tryptamine-based indoles in there as well.
Oh, yeah, if you guys are interested in how to make stinging nettle tea and things, I'll put a link right up here. You can just click on that and watch our video for the nettles.
Yeah, I can see that being a nice cocktail, the nettles and the ashwagandha.
Well, another thing too, and with the cocktail, that's we've talked a lot about the power of that. And this thing already is a cocktail because it's got so many different things in it.
Yeah.
And when we were reading the list of names, a lot of them did seem like kind of like precursors or like precursors to nootropics.
Yeah.
As well. So, yeah, interesting what our potential might be in terms of raising the nutrients and available, you know, psychonutrients, psychoactive chemicals and things like that, and their precursors and things, raising their availability could potentially give us superpowers. All right. Try it one more time.
Bonus episode on the first season. Encore episode. We may have another encore even.
Oh, so have we started the second season officially or no?
I don't know, have we?
I think this kicks it off.
Oh yeah, okay, I thought this was an encore in the first season.
I mean, I don't know. Well, it could be.
Yeah.
We are taking a 2-week hiatus.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Oh yeah, because we could release it later, I suppose, huh?
No, we don't want to do that. We keep the fans too thirsty.
I know, they do get ugly when we leave them with nothing for too long.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah, the next thing you know, we lose them. They'll be over there watching David Icke videos. We got to bring them back down to earth. But yes, thank you guys so much once again for being with us and sharing space and going on this journey along with us. We Hope that it's been entertaining and informational and educational and beneficial. That's what we're here to do, support us all in our growth and share our anecdotes and stories and unique contributions along the way. Once again, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
See you guys on another High on Spirit.
This transmission is coming to you from deep in the jungles of central Maine. You've been listening to High on Spirit.
So it seems like there's a lot of things going on in the brain as well, potential precursors and active psychonutrients that are in there too as well. Like we were looking at some of the research, and the list of things that they found was quite extensive.
Yeah, in terms of its bioactive compounds, there's a lot of good stuff in there. That it has in the literature it says to take it for a couple months to really notice the benefits, but there's certainly a short-term effect in terms of it's going to help fight off a cold or any sorts of acute viruses or whatnot. But the benefit in terms of its nurturing the system, similar to a ginseng, comes out after...
That's over time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the practice itself.
Well, some people have been noting that it's shown benefit with stress reduction.
Yeah.
Right. So that's going to be more of an overtime thing, not like if I'm stressed out, run to the cabinet and pull out the ashwagandha, but like have that regularly in your system. I have noticed too that there are a lot of supplements that have been putting some amounts of ashwagandha in it. Is there any danger of like taking too much?
I don't think it didn't seem like it. If anything, the studies that I was looking at, the more that people were taking, the more benefit that they were having. Mm-hmm. I tried to find issues of toxicity, and I couldn't find any of that. But people can drink too much water too.
Yeah, this is true. Now the leaves we noticed kind of had a tobacco leaf shape.
Yeah, it looks like a small, like wild tobacco almost. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Pull one of these up here. Bring that over so you can take a look at this.
I saw one ongoing study by a company out of, I'm not sure where they're out of, they're called Amarita, and they were studying the potency and length of the female orgasm in relationship to ashwagandha. Said they were coming up with amazing results.
So that's something that the ladies would probably be very interested in, I would suspect.
That could have to do with the reduction of stress and just the building of the general strength and thinking about your life in a healthier manner as well.
Well, connecting with the root also, as we know, the earth energy is very closely related and associated with the sexual force. And so anything that's doing benefits in that area is going to make us more grounded, strengthened. And I wouldn't be surprised if we did a study and found that there was a counterpart in the, let's say this strengthening of the man's erections and or endurance and or length of his intensity of his orgasms as well. It may actually even help and support with the sexual qigong training, the healing love practices, multi-orgasmic man, and healing through the Tao practices with partners and solo, etc. For, for transforming the sexual energy and using that for spiritual purposes and healing, as well as it's shown to be able to dramatically and drastically increase the energy and the blood flow to the brain. So there's a direct correlation between, raising your intelligence and being able to raise your sexual energy and transform it.
Yeah, and awareness of the whole vagus nerve response there, bringing awareness to that by being a root that brings more awareness to our lower core area is going to help with the release of stress.
That's a beautiful visual, yes, because the vagus does kind of drop down and then split and root itself within us. Yeah, that's actually very helpful at connecting. I'm excited for this practice we're going to do.
Yeah, I like to start by visualizing the plant, seeing oneself as the plant, dropping into the awareness of the roots, letting our roots of our feet grow down into the earth. And as those roots grow in, they're communicating with the whole environment. They're exchanging information. And as the breath comes back up in, all of the nutrients, all of the vitality, the light and love of the earth comes back up into us. We feel it come up through our feet, our ankles and knees, settling us, building this container of vitality in our central core.
And then feeling the connection to the earth through the feet, we can also coordinate a slight gripping of the earth, slight clawing with our toes on the inhale. And feel how that gently opens up the bubbling springs point in the feet.
Which is right in the center, like if your foot was a hand. This was your foot. That's your bubbling spring point.
And so an inhale, grip lightly, and on the exhale, just release down into the earth.
As the breath passes up into the core, the perineum naturally wants to contract slightly.
So now we can coordinate those three movements with in-breath, and the toes curling under, and the perineum engaging slightly the floor of the pelvis. And then maintaining integrity in the posture, but surrendering everything down to the earth. And try to feel these three as one movement, wholly interconnected.
Breath coming in, roots going down, bubbling spring receiving, perineum contracting, releasing back into the earth. Holding container as the energy grows.
I love that that's a give and receive as well, because as we're inhaling and pulling the energy in and the breath is coming in, as you said, the roots are going out. At the same time, we can feel that interplay and connection.
Allowing our energy field to grow into the earth, expanding the sense of what we know ourselves to be.
Allowing awareness to shine down and smile down into the earth, down through the body and beyond, into the field of the earth. And just smiling down sunshine as the breath continues. I can feel myself wanting to do the reverse breathing as our energy builds in my core,
letting her energy fill me as I breathe out, and reversing the breathing there, and then being with the feeling of being ashwagandha. Feeling this rootedness going into the earth and the stability. Not a need to do anything. Like a workhorse isn't running around the pasture all day, but it could work all day if it needed to.
Well, yeah, and just doing a simple practice like this daily will have tremendous benefits. You know, when our energy is grounded, we have a much more, a much greater ability to interact with people and things and situations that might have been disturbing to us, and we can remain calm and centered and respond to the situation, or see a solution that we wouldn't have seen had we become agitated, which can be so easy if we don't take the time to ground, practice. And this is the reason why we do these practices, is that so when we get up from our meditation, when we get up from our practices, we can carry that sense of being grounded and energized and peaceful and having well-being through us and impact the world in a positive way that changes everything we encounter.